Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to go over the 2023 Volvo XC90. I think the XC90 has finally become much better, especially in driving, because Volvos are all four cylinders. Volvos have been four cylinders for a while now, and the 2023 XC90 has gotten so much better. This car came out in 2016, and it had the same body shape, same platform, and you know, this being a B5 in 2023, this has the mild hybrid system. It used to be a T5, which just was turbocharged, but this has a mild hybrid system, which means it has a generator. It doesn't have a starter, so when you start it, it just turns on the engine. Another thing that's made this car a lot better is how it rides. Now it's so much more compliant. It rides how it looks now. You know, Volvos have been known to be rigid and loud inside, not so comfortable because they're so safety focused. By the way, this is one of my favorite cars in existence. This car is basically a cage on wheels, boron steel, where it needs to be, but it will still crumble. But this car is made out of the strongest steel of any car on the road, which Volvo is famous for. And it's also a 7-passenger. It's the perfect family car. So this is a 2023 model, and this color is called Birch Light, which is pretty difficult for this camera to catch. But it's one of the newer color. There's another one that's bright dusk that looks like a Cadillac pink. And you can see here, there's the new badge, the B5 badge, right there next to the all-wheel drive badge. Because these cars are snow monsters. I call Volvos the ultimate Subarus. Subarus are also safety focused amongst the Japanese cars. In that country, you know, you have Toyota, Honda, Subaru, Nissan. They all have different kind of niche to them when you look at them much closer. So let me show you what is different on the XC90. You can see the outside, it's fairly similar. Let's jump on the inside. Inside's fairly similar as well. The layout is still the same. To a 2016, but what is different is now, let's go ahead and turn the car off. Actually, the door, everything on the door is still the same. You have this wood here that's from a forest in Sweden. It's very light. You have your memory buttons up there. And now the different part is when you get in the car, you could see here in front of us in the instrument cluster, you have your fuel range, and it also shows the doors open. So I'll close the door. Door's closed. It only gives you the most important thing, I guess, when you get in the car, and that's your range. Another thing that's changed is the gear lever. XC90 used to have a traditional gear lever where you go from park, reverse, neutral, drive. Now you have a drive-by-wire, because it has a mild hybrid system. It has that generator sitting between the transmission and the engine. So let's go ahead and start it so I can show you what that generator is. To start it, it's a twist to the right, same as past 2017. So in 2017, you could twist this to the left and it would turn off the engine. After that, 2018s, you twist it to the right to turn it off and to turn it on. It was a bit confusing at first. And there it goes, it comes to life. Instrument cluster is different, as you can see here. And everything is pretty much nice and clean until I press this button to bring up the map. There's our map in the middle. Nice map, actually. And it also basically, sorry about my camera here. It also, when you're navigating somewhere, it'll zoom in to where you are, and it'll light up the street where you are. So right now it's blown out. It looks like it's probably like 800 feet out. But when you have your navigation, this little roundabout right here will be much bigger. Another thing about this screen is here's the battery for your mild hybrid, which will be lowering if you stomp on the gas pedal too much. But when you're braking and when you're turning it, basically puts power back into the battery, which is just so next level. It's pretty cool. It reminds me of the mild hybrid in the X5, in the 6-cylinder, in the inline 6 BMWs. I also work with that, as you guys know. But I really like the screen, and I like how clean it is, how crisp it is as well. Here in the middle, oh goodness, we have this plastic. Let's take this plastic off. Here in the middle, if we didn't have that sun there, you could see that the button is still there for the screen, but the layout's different because this car has the new Google system. And when you press down at this bottom, it brings up everything on the main menu. One thing they added in this 2023 that wasn't in the initial cars that got especially the XC40, the electric one, is what started this whole Google system. And also this drive-by-wire. The electric Volvos have this. And then the hybrids got it, and now the mild hybrid has it. And by the way, this B5 is just so much, it is just so much more happy, because the turbo lag was ridiculous. As you can see here, we have 247 horsepower, 258 pound-feet, but you get a 13 horsepower from the regenerative braking. So you get 13 extra horsepower boost from the 48 volt mild hybrid system connected to the 8-speed. And so that made the B5 feel much better. Now customers can choose B5 because B5 is not so underpowered, especially in an XC90. In an XC90, a B5 feels a little underpowered. And what else changed? Let's look up here. You can see the roof. There's no button for the sunroof. You just slide your finger on this, and the sunroof opens. It's kind of cool. It goes well with the drive-by-wire gear selector. Here, let me close it because we need our lighting to be good for the camera. And you also have touch sensitive lights. Look at that, bright LEDs that are touch sensitive. Incredible. It's just so much more modern. They didn't need to change how this car looked. There we go. And this middle one, if you hold it and it goes gray, now if I open my door, oh, look at that, the lamps come on. I close the door, the lamps go off because the engine is on. But if you don't want the lamps to come on, you just hold this button, and there you go. Now you open the door, nothing. The Volvo on-call button is different. It doesn't say on-call on it anymore. That's your roadside assistance, concierge. Here's your SOS button right here. By the way, I keep forgetting to say this, but when you get into a Google car, the first thing you should do is set up your profile by clicking here at the bottom. Going back, click here at the bottom. Get out of that. So you have to go to Profiles, and you have to set up complete profile setup all the way from the beginning. You need a Google account and also a Volvo ID after registering in the app for you to complete it. Otherwise, you're giving away about 75% of your safety services. You'll have limited access to certain things in the car. So you have to make sure you do that first before you do your seat. Before you do anything in the car, you have to do that first. And there's Google at the bottom. And if I say, let's go back home, hey Google, tell me a joke.
What does a nosy pepper do? It gets jalapeno business.
There you go. It's that easy. I didn't even press, because this button right here was frustrating for Volvo users. This voice command button, Volvo had one of the worst. You can't really talk to a fluid like a BMW. So now you could say hey and the G word, and it brings it up. Another thing I wanted to show you, because someone asked me this a little while ago, is how do you bring up your, because you could see your gas down here, 480, and you have these white lights that'll go out as your gas is running out. There's your auto stop start. And when the mild hybrid turns off, it'll just go wham, and this will turn green, the A, and you'll barely notice what happened. That's what's cool about these new cars, these new mild hybrids, is it's seamless when the car turns off. So someone asked me, how do you check your trip? Or your miles per gallon is what they asked. I need a quick review for the miles per gallon. It seems to be hidden. What you want to do is press this middle button right here on the right side of the steering wheel. So I'll press that button. And that brought up some information. Look at that. We're getting 10 miles per gallon. That's not real because the car has no miles on it at all. Now we're at 9.9. You will notice if you're sitting still, your miles per gallon lowers. Because you're sitting still, you're not driving any miles, but the engine is running. It makes a lot of sense. Sitting still with the engine running basically ruins your miles per gallon. And that basically explains what's going on with the mild hybrid thing. The mild hybrid thing is trying to basically balance that. Wow, the focus on my phone there went crazy. So it's trying to balance that. It's trying to help you with your miles per gallon when you're sitting still. The engine turns off at a light, and basically you're not using any gas. So your miles per gallon goes to like 90 miles per gallon for your brief moment sitting still. You still do have your lane markings right here that'll turn orange if you go over a line. And you still do have your roadside information here, digital speedo, which is nice. But the way this mild hybrid feels, because it's a 4-cylinder and it's a B5, it's not a B6 that has a supercharger and a turbocharger. That has 316 horsepower. This has 247, but the mild hybrid makes it so much better off the line, because this car is a tank and it does weigh quite a bit when you get off the line. Another thing I wanted to show you is let's go ahead and put the car in reverse. Look at that. There's your new screen. And this new screen, there's your lines for your wheels. But if I press the middle, 360, there's a 360-degree camera. So you still have that, which is nice. And you can see I'm parked all crooked. And if you press here, it'll take you back. Then I'll press home. Entering your climate control, you press the fan in the bottom. There you go. This is a little different as well. What you want to do is leave it on automatic, unless you're one of those people who like to have your air on manual and you're choosing where you want the air to go. But auto will do the windows, it'll do the whole car as needed. And as I said before, what I love about these cars at this level of luxury is that you can still mess with the fan and it won't mess with the fan on the car. It won't mess with the automatic, sorry. You can still mess with the fan and it won't change the thing from automatic on you. It's only when you choose where the air should go does it take it off automatic. So there we go. I'll turn the fan down so that you can hear me. And yeah, it's pretty simple. Pretty simple. You guys let me know if you have any questions. I love this new car, and I just think Volvos are so cool. They're cars with no competition. Thanks for watching.